Welcome back, everyone, to some more Shoals diving. Ran back for the 5th time. This is the first dive on day 3. As you can see, we went pretty deep this time, all the way down to nearly 74 feet. It got awfully chilly down there. Looks like we bottomed out around 60 degrees Fahrenheit, which, in case you're not aware, water temperature and air temperature, not really comparable. 70-degree water is pretty freaking cold, especially if you stay in it for a while. You know, the reason for that is the water sucks heat out of your body a lot faster than air does because of the proximity of the water molecules. They're a lot closer together is what I'm trying to say than the air molecules. So there's the heat transfer there happens a lot more quickly, and a lot more easily than it does with air. So 60-degree water, that doesn't sound that bad, or it doesn't sound that bad. That's actually pretty cold. I've learned my tolerance in a 7mm wetsuit, full hood, full gloves, is about 50 degrees, and I can't stay there that long. But you can build a tolerance. If you guys have ever seen My Octopus Teacher on Netflix, that guy is free diving without a wetsuit in about 50-degree water. He gives the water in Celsius because he's in South Africa, and you know the whole world uses these units that none of us Americans understand. But I think at the time I did a translation, and it came out to be about 50 degrees Fahrenheit. And I was like, wow, that's barely what I can tolerate in a wetsuit. And this guy's doing that without one. That's special. Anyway, anything colder than that, and I need a dry suit. In an extended period of time, really, I need a dry suit for that cold. But to this dive, like I said, we went pretty deep on this one. This was actually an amateur hour dive for me. I didn't do well. So right off the bat, well, not right off the bat, but at some point during the dive, I realized my tank had become unhooked from my BCD. To this day, I have no idea how that happened. I know it was properly secured when I jumped in the water because I carried the BCD and the tank to the edge of the boat, and it was hooked up then. So somewhere along the line, after I put all my gear on, got in the water, the tank became unhooked, and I could tell it didn't dawn on me right away. I could tell there was something off. I don't know. It was just my buoyancy felt kind of weird, my balance in the water. And then at some point I could feel the tank really far down on my back, and that's when I knew that something was going on. So I pointed it out to my buddy. He pushed it back up, kind of further up on my back. But he didn't hook the strap on. I don't think he really saw that the strap itself was loose. So I did the whole dive with my tank hanging loose, or at least a good portion of it. That's not what you want. But it happens, I guess, sometimes. Actually, in the Florida Keys a few months ago, I managed to jump in the water without securing my tank. I don't know how I even walked to the edge of the boat with that. Obviously that was 110% my fault, but the service interval in between dives on that trip was ridiculously short. The boat captain was just pushing us. Come on, get a switch. We gotta get back in the water. I'm like, man, give me a chance to breathe here. Change my battery in my camera. I've never been on a trip where it was just like back to back like that. And I was rushing around, and I just forgot to hook my tank in. But we got down to the bottom, all 25 feet of it down there. I realized something was wrong. I pointed it out to my buddy, and he hooked me up, and we were good. So unlike this dive, which I basically did at least half of it with a hanging tank, like I said, amateur hour. Anyway, let's take a look at some of these icons. So that yellow lightning bolt looking thing in the middle, if you don't recall, that's a deep stop. And hey, what do you know? I did not violate the deep stop this time, so good on me. That's where if you go down deep enough, in quotes, whatever that is, your computer, my computer, it's a very conservative computer, recommends I'll call it optional decompression stop at a certain depth. It looks like this one was at about 40 feet. And I've never had a deep stop more than a minute. So it sits there and counts down a minute and gives you a ceiling. So it'll say, don't go above 40 feet for a minute. And it looks like I paid attention to it this time. But then we got to the end. Those red arrows are scent warnings. So I guess I was popping up a little too quickly to my computer's liking. But, computer doesn't always get what it wants. Temperature looks about right. Cold at depth. Warms up as we go up. Let's take a look at that pressure. And again, very about what we expect to see. The rate of decline picks up a little bit. The deeper we go, that's because I'm breathing denser air. And you can see that line flatten out a bit as we get into shallower water. All right, I've looked ahead briefly. I only have 3 segments on this dive. I don't know why I took so few. Maybe I was just getting tired of filming rocks. But let's take a look. All right, starting under the water this time. Looks like we're already pretty deep. It's pretty dark. Checking out those rocks. If I'm not mistaken, we did find some cooler stuff on this trip, like a cinder block. Look at that. I bet that thing sinks in a hurry. I believe we found a boat ladder also. Spoiler alert. We should have brought it up because consequently, our boat ladder broke. Too bad we didn't bring that with us. Oh, look at this. Long lost tree. Long waterlogged. Yeah, that whole thing looks uprooted and thrown in here. Yeah, I don't know how deep we are, but even this deep, I don't think trees are growing when the lake level's at its lowest. I guess Paul Bunyan picked up a tree out of the ground and threw it into the lake. Yeah, it's pretty dark. It's pretty dark with no light. In person, it's a little brighter than that. I guess my camera's probably still filming at 60 frames a second here. Oh, there we go. 56 feet. All right. 2,300 air pressure left. I think that's at about 54 minutes of air time left. Yeah, so 54 feet deep. So we got about 20 feet deeper than this when it was all said and done. More sticks. Hey, when you see something other than a rock down there, it's interesting. In this lake. Checking out those trees. Nice change of scenery. I also remember more spoiler alerts. I found a lot of beer cans on this trip, so I think we parked the boat at a I don't know, corner. Kind of swam around the corner, and there were some boats hanging out there. Uh-oh, what's that? But I think we were basically diving where a popular part of the, popular hangout spot on the lake is, which accounted for all the beer cans. I don't even remember seeing this live. What is that? Some kind of rope? What? Look at it. Look back at it. Turn my head, idiot. There it is. Oh, no, definitely not a rope. What was that? I'm going to have to go back. If I realize what it is, I'll put it in the description, or you can drop a comment if you know what it is. Chair? Now what are we looking at? Beer can? Yeah, that's beer can. Yeah, normally I try to pick them up. This one was old. Yeah, look at that rusty thing. It's more like a tin can. I wish it wasn't washed out. That was really old looking. You can kind of see the weird vintage mouthpiece on that thing. Yeah, I think that might have been an old tin can. It was thick. I couldn't scrunch it up, I think. It was one of those thick... They might be aluminum. I don't... Whatever metal they're made out of. Yeah, I think I impaled it on that stick just because I couldn't crunch it up. Ah, I missed the camera. Left a little Easter egg for the next diver to find. Oh, nope. Just kidding. It looks like I'm releasing the smoke bomb, smoke grenade. That's going to do well for the visibility coming back. Yeah, I think I decided. Oh, here's the impalement. All right. Yep. Yeah, I just left that thing there. Like I said, Easter egg for the next diver. I decided that thing was either just too dirty or too thick of metal. I couldn't scrunch it up and put it in my BCD. So I left it. You should come down here with a mesh bag and do a cleanup. There's another beer can. Yeah, there was a bunch of them in this part of the lake. Yeah, I know where the party happens on this lake now. About 70 feet above us. Oh, that didn't sound good. Was that me? Yeah, you see a lot of fishing line too. It's imperative that you bring a dive knife or cutting tool into this lake. Actually, last year, 2 years ago, I guess it was 2 years ago, might have been this very same dive with the same buddies. One of them got a little tangled up in fishing line, and I'm so upset I missed it because you get very few chances to use your dive knife, and man, I would have whipped that sucker out. I mean, mine's like a freaking machete, man. It's 7-8 inches long. It's my dad's old dive knife. They don't make them that way anymore. Now you get you can still get knives, but they're a couple inches thick, and you can get cutting tools, which essentially look like letter openers. I should probably get one of those too, but yeah, I love my dive knife. Actually, you're not allowed to wear it to a lot of places. So in Cozumel, no, it's a marine park. You're not allowed to bring a knife. You're not allowed to wear gloves. The reason being is they want to completely discourage you from touching anything. So I get it. But I'll tell you what, you can look at my past Cozumel videos this year. I dropped my spool, and it kind of got tangled up in some things, and you know, it wasn't me. We did end up retrieving it, untangling it, getting the whole thing, but you know what? I'm taking my knife with me from now on, because if you happen to get tangled up in your own line or something and you gotta cut yourself free, you gotta do what you gotta do, and my knife will be coming along with me to Cozumel from now on. And the last segment already. That didn't take long. Got some more sticks down here. Like I said, that's an interesting contrast from the rocks. I hope I got the boat ladder. That was the most interesting thing we saw all weekend. There it is! Alright! Speak of the devil. Look at that. Somebody lost their boat ladder. Should have taken it back. Yeah, our ladder on our boat busted, or I can't quite remember what happened was. First of all, it's a homemade ladder. I'm not trying to throw shade on whoever made it. I think somebody in our dive club did. It's made out of 2x4s. It's sturdy. I'm trying to remember what happened to it, but for some reason we had to pick it up. The wood didn't break. Maybe we lost a bolt to it or something. But anyway, that made getting back on the boat a bit more difficult. Is that a fin? Oh yeah. Yeah, we found a fin down there too. This was the treasure hunt dive, apparently. Yeah, I don't think we took that back either. Yeah, maybe we did. My buddy might have hung on to that. This time my tank was loose and I was feeling weird, but yeah, I guess the majority of that was not captured. That's the end of this dive. I'll see you in the final one, dive number 6.